You've swallowed the drugs. Now all you have to do to survive is not do a poo for 7 days. The Mule is an Australian film that's as claustrophobic as it is disgusting and funny. And it's all a true story. But does the Mule hold up? Let's find out in today's episode of How Disturbing. Hello and welcome to another episode of How Disturbing. I'm your host Billy Bogues, and today we'll be looking at a sleeper hit from Australia called The Mule. Obviously, the scenes that we review on How Disturbing are disturbing, and although my descriptions will be brief and fleeting, viewer discretion is still advised. This is also your spoiler warning. Let's watch The Mule. Okay, we're in Melbourne in 1983, and we're at an end of season footy celebration. Footy is short for Australian rules football, by the way, and it's super popular.
Well, says it all. Bangkok, here we come.
Anyway, it's time to meet Pat the Rat Shepherd.
Our esteemed club president, Pat the Rat Shepherd.
He's donated a lot of money to the club, and he's handing out awards.
Very much, mate. Much appreciated, mate.
Hide your daughters.
And this year's Clubman of the Year is Ray Jenkins?
The winner of the 1983 West Sunshine Clubman of the Year is the endurable Ray Jenkins.
Oh.
Come up here, Ray.
It needs to be mentioned that Ray Jenkins is definitely not the brightest guy around, and he still lives at home with his mother and stepfather.
Anyone see Adelaide's weather? Going through a real hot spell.
Okie dokie, now meet Gavin. Gavin and the boys are planning a trip away to Thailand, and for some reason, they've invited the very unpopular Ray.
It's on. And you're the only bloke from the club I'm inviting, so don't tell no one.
By day, Ray is a TV repairman, and remember this because it's very important later.
Can I break for lunch?
Do the whole table first. I don't pay you to eat.
We see Gavin giving Ray a ride home from work one evening, and it appears as though Gavin has offered Ray $8,000 to transport some heroin back from Thailand.
Have a think about the Thailand offer. Get him through customs, shit him out, and Robert's our auntie's husband. Easiest $8,000 you'll ever make.
Sure.
Even though he's offered $8,000, Ray decides to decline the offer.
No, mate, I'm sorry, I'm not your man. Besides, I wouldn't be any good at it.
Later, in Pat the Rat's office, we learn that Pat the Rat and Gavin, well, they're in cahoots over the whole Thailand smuggling situation.
Did you have a word with our Clubman of the Year?
He's not up for it. Doesn't have the guts.
Pity.
It looks like the whole idea is in fact Pat the Rat's.
Half a kilo. No more. No less.
Back at the TV repair shop, and Ray's boss is a giant dick to him, so Ray quits.
I quit.
Quit. Okay, quit. Good luck finding job. We're the only repair shop in 20 miles.
But what's Ray gonna do for money now? Well, I think we both know.
Fuck me, Rhonda. Won't you knock?
I'm in.
That's right, welcome to Thailand. The next day, Gavin and Ray go to pick up the drugs from a dealer at a local restaurant. Ray is made to wait outside while Gavin goes in to collect the drugs.
Hey, Nang Long. That. You better wait out here.
Gavin makes the trade, and then he goes outside to collect Ray, and the two of them are out of there as quick as can be.
Okay. Good to see you.
Tell Pat, thank you to look after my nephew. And please enjoy Bangkok. Heaven awaits.
That afternoon, back in their hotel room, with some convincing and some effort, Ray manages to swallow 1 kilogram of heroin.
Down the hatch.
Arriving back in Australia, it's very obvious that Ray is extremely nervous.
First trip overseas, eh?
This becomes apparent to airport security and they investigate him.
Jenkins, just come back from Thailand. Calls I was a smuggler.
He almost gets away with it, but Ray forgets to take his bag and, well, that's enough for him to be busted.
Right. Right.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, you forgot your bag, you kid.
Excuse me, sir. Whose bag is that?
Okie dokie, we're introduced to Detective Paris and Detective Croft.
Mr. Jenkins, my name is Detective Les Paris. This is Detective Tom Croft. We're with the Australian Federal Police.
The detectives take Ray to a hospital for investigation.
Surely you can whack something up there, take a look, see?
Not without his permission. He'll expel whatever it is soon enough.
But because Ray refuses to consent to any of the tests, the detectives are forced to wait a week for Ray to take a shit.
Fuck that, I'm not sitting in there all night waiting for this cunt to take a dump. There's this hotel I use in Airport West.
The two detectives detain Ray in a hotel room. He either has to stay there for 7 days or until he goes poo-poo.
The law permits us to detain you for 7 days, or until you empty your bowels twice. Until then, you remain in this room under constant supervision. The sooner you go to the toilet, the sooner we all go home.
Meanwhile, Pat the Rat Shepherd is getting very cranky that he hasn't seen either of the boys yet.
Oh, mate. I was just on my way over.
Missed you at the airport.
Day 2 of No Poo, and as Ray is being questioned further, we get introduced to Jasmine Griffiths.
Jasmine Griffiths. Legal aid. I'm here to see my client, Mr. Ray Jenkins.
Yeah, just a second. Right, you said I've got.
Jasmine is Ray's government-appointed lawyer, and she wants to talk to him, but he's got gas.
Why won't you go to the loo?
Told you before, I'm constipated.
The thing is, if you keep...
Meanwhile, Gavin has booked the room beside Ray and the detectives in the motel, and he goes to stay there. Later that day, Detective Croft accosts Ray in the shower. He burns him and he also beats the crap out of him.
Just get you on your feet.
See?
You're right.
But luckily for Ray, Detective Paris rocks up and puts a stop to it. Fast forward to day 5, and Ray's done pretty well, but he's started vomiting. And Pat the Rat has found out that Gavin has been staying at the hotel room, and him and his cronies rock up to give Gavin a shakedown.
You really didn't think this through, did you, mate?
Please don't kill me, Pat. Don't kill me.
Pat eventually orders Gavin to kill Ray so that he won't talk to the detectives. That'll be tricky.
I'm not going to kill your son. Because you, Gav, are going to kill your mate before he sings to the pigs.
It's day 7, and Ray only has to make it one more night. Only there's a problem. He started uncontrollably pooing out the heroin. And there's only one safe place for Ray to hide it. That's right, back down the hatch. And just in the nick of time, the detectives rock up to pick through Ray's shit, and obviously they don't find any drugs because he swallowed them again.
No packets.
This is when the detectives decide to deliver the news to Ray that they've been granted a further 3 days from the magistrate.
We got you for 3 more days, shit breath.
3 fucking days.
Surprisingly, Ray divulges to Jasmine that he has a stomach full of heroin.
I've got 20 condoms of heroin in my stomach.
Your voice down, Ray.
And because Jasmine is determined to defeat her foes, the lawyers, she surprisingly encourages Ray to hold on.
You need to hold on. Just a little bit longer. I'm not going to let that arrogant prick beat us.
Okie dokie. Gavin has found a way of getting into Ray's hotel room in an effort to murder him.
What have you told him?
Look at me. I haven't told him anything.
Why the fuck not?
But when Gavin finds out that the heroin is in fact safe, and that Ray hasn't squealed to the detectives, well, Gavin has a soft spot and can't go through with it.
Brothers. Right.
Gavin can no longer withstand the pressure of the lies. On the rooftop of the hotel, Gavin divulges everything to Detective Paris.
Hey. You've made the right decision.
You promise nothing will happen to Ray?
I swear on the Holy Bible.
Detective Paris tells Gavin that he's done the right thing, but then shockingly, kicks Gavin off the roof to his death.
You won't have to worry about him anymore.
Boop, dead.
Boop, dead.
Ray actually happens to witness this murder. And Detective Paris tells him that if Ray gives Detective Paris all of the drugs inside him, Paris will vouch for Ray and Ray will be a free man.
There's only one option where you survive. I take the drugs. File a report stating it was glucose. There's no laws about carrying sugar in your gut.
Okay, Croft and Jasmine are now both pleading with the magistrate.
They have neither the evidence nor the right to keep him detained any longer.
He refuses to be x-rayed. What more do you need?
But unfortunately for Ray, the magistrate grants Detective Croft an extension of 2 days.
2 days. Should be sufficient for all of you.
That night, Ray waits for his night shift detective to go and do a wee-wee. He takes a previously shit-out ball of heroin and spikes the detective's beer with a good chunk of powder. Ray then goes to the toilet to shit out the remaining kilogram of heroin. The toilet has been rigged to not flush, so he uses a beer to wash off the balls of heroin. Ray then finds himself a 10-cent piece, and with a look of confidence, the screen fades to black. Jasmine arrives the next day to collect Ray upon his release.
I'm here to pick up my client upon his imminent release.
What do you mean?
His detention warrant expires in 45 minutes.
But Detective Croft rushes off to seek a further extension.
Come on, you bastard.
Going somewhere?
When Croft tells Paris that the extension has been denied, Paris lies to Ray and tells him that he's going to be detained further.
I'll let him know. The magistrate's granted us the extension. You remain in our custody for a further 6 days.
Ray is obviously unfazed by this, and he taunts Detective Paris, which results in Ray copping one hell of a beating.
Come and fucking get him.
Harris digs through Ray's poo-poo to try and find the drugs, and when he obviously can't find any...
Where the f*** are they?
He just goes back to beating the shit out of Ray. Luckily though, Ray is saved by Jasmine and, surprisingly, Detective Croft.
Call an ambulance!
I want an X-ray.
But hold on a second, where the fuck did the heroin go? Well, remember what I said at the start? Ray is a television repairman.
It's been concealed throughout the summer and the race series. However, Australia's
The
winged
end.
seal was finally revealed tonight by its jubilant owner. And the Prime Minister went up in the polls this morning.
The Mule was released in 2014, and in Australia, it received an MA15+ rating. Right off the bat, I have to say that there was a whole bunch of subplots and even deaths that I couldn't include in this video for the sake of time. There's a whole bunch more going on in this film to what I've discussed, and it's actually quite incredible how they fit it all into an hour and a half. On this guy here, Lee Warnell, well, that's the guy that created the Saw franchise. He also created the Insidious franchise, and he made the recent Invisible Man. Pretty impressive. I love The Mule. It's captivating, frustrating, and disgusting all at the same time. My girlfriend had to stop watching it because she found it too stressful. Angus Sampson is one of my all-time favourite actors, and like Hugo Weaving is obviously a powerhouse. I mean, this man is both Mr. Anderson and Megatron. So I guess for the sake of time, I'm just gonna say this. Go and watch The Mule. It's a fucking good movie. Australian films are definitely underrated, and it showcases some of our country's greatest talent. That is, if you can handle all the shit. Okie dokie, it's time to rank and rate The Mule and find out where it sits amongst its brethren of disturbing cinema. First of all, I have to rate The Mule for how good it was as just a film, outside of how disturbing it was. And I'm going to give The Mule a 71.2 out of 100. Next up, I have to find out what everyone else thinks of the film, because sometimes what I think of the film and what you guys think of the film is vastly different. So I'm going to go to the most popular movie review sites, and it looks like you guys think The Mule is worth a 69.4. Seems like we're on the same page there. Next up, we need to average out what I thought of The Mule with what you thought of The Mule, and when we do that, we get a combined rating of 70.3. Cool. Alright, the second last thing we need to do is rate The Mule purely for how disturbing it was, outside of how good it was as a movie. And I'm going to award The Mule for how disturbing it was a 63.2. I mean, there was a lot of people picking through poo in this movie, and that's kind of gross. So, lastly, let's average out how good the movie was with how disturbing the movie was, and when we do that, it looks like The Mule gets an ultimate disturbing rating of 63.2. Cool. Now we're going to bring in the grand spreadsheet. There it is. And it looks like The Mule is slotting in here at an impressive number 5. It looks like we think The Mule is slightly better than The Black Swan, but has a slightly worse average than A Snowtown. Thanks for watching another episode of How Disturbing. As we're still a small channel, please hit that like and subscribe button, it really helps me out. And just as a side note, if you've got a product that you want to sell, if you've created something and you want to get it out there, I will promote it on my channel for free, so get in contact. Thanks for watching guys, I'm Billy Bogues, see you later.